Hello YouTube, this is Loyal to Law once again, and this time in this video I'm actually going to teach you one very basic one simple strike rather, that you can actually do and incorporate in any kind of martial arts training that you've been doing. You can do it with a stick, and you can also do it with empty hands, which I'm actually going to show later, since the concept that it came from was using the stick, usually from Filipino martial arts background. So without further ado, let's begin. So the strike that I'm actually going to show to you is very, very basic. So as you know, naturally when we hold a stick, especially when we hold a baseball bat, it's usually like that. But if you're holding a stick that's really light, kind of like this, not as heavy as a baseball bat where there's a huge weight on one end so that you can actually swing the ball with much more strength. This one is very light, so it's a little bit more balanced. The basic strikes that you can do is actually this motion. This is natural, very good for instinct, so when you're in a panic, you're just going to like that. But what I'm actually going to focus on when it comes to doing the strikes is not exactly this one, but with just this. Just that. Notice that it's entirely different with doing this motion. So if I just focus on one strike coming from my right side here, I twist my body, also my torso, and I put my weight, shift my weight to my back foot, which is my right leg. And then I lift the heel of my left foot, and as I do so, I simultaneously strike, like so. Kind of like I'm sweeping or hitting the water down. You can also do it sideways, so you're trying to hit head level. So when you do this kind of power strike, make sure that you do it slow first. By slow, I mean you're not exactly going to do like that without any kind of power. Of course, you need to actually hit with this strike with power. However, if you're going to practice this in the beginning, or if this is a new technique for you, especially when it comes to practice, you're actually just going to do it with the basic motion, so you're actually going to break it down. So first, standing straight, as you feel both of your weight well dispersed from both legs, you put most of your weight on your back leg, and then you shift your torso. As you shift your torso to your left leg will naturally lift the heel and pivot. See? So I shift my right, as I shift all of my weight to my right side rather, to my right leg, naturally my left heel lifts up and it pivots, but having my left foot and left knee facing 45 degrees in this end. Now when you do this, you don't have to put your stick here. Since you're practicing the form, you should put your stick between your neck and your shoulder. So it's right in between. So shift here, naturally lifts up and twists and pivots, and then you do the strike, like so. Now if you're going to put them all together, as you shift your weight to your right side, the left heel automatically lifts and pivots. As you twist, you strike. Okay? To make it easier for you, have your right foot, instead of having it point straight, point slightly to your left side. So it's going to be like this. So as you shift your weight, like so, you don't have to worry about the strong torque that you feel when your right leg is straight, for example, like this. You don't have to feel most of the torque on your right heel. So by shifting your weight, or by shifting your foot rather, slightly to the left side as you shift your weight to your right side, doing the following mechanics, it'll be easier for you to strike. So do this a few times, and you'll feel comfortable just doing it. Also, not to forget, once you try to hit, you don't actually hit just like so, and then leave your arm right here. You kind of like have your arm in an left arm in an open palm, so that when you do a follow through, you'll not just go through, where you're actually going to overextend your shoulder this way. So this is going to be a natural stoppage, like so. See where my left arm or my left hand actually taps my right bicep, so that my strike automatically or is naturally stopped by my left arm. And I don't hurt myself, I don't overreach with my right shoulder to my back, I don't hit my side of the tricep on my left, just like that. Okay? Like so. Do this a few times, and you'll feel that it's going to be natural for you to actually incorporate this. Now for the empty hand, to put my stick down there. Same motion, except that you're just imagining that you're holding a stick. So for easier demonstration, you're going to do this with your right hand open palm. So same mechanics. If you don't feel comfortable with your right leg, in this case, having the foot straight forward, slightly tilted to the left, so that when you shift your weight, you're just going to think about the natural motion of your left leg lifting. So again, so doing the same motion, like that. Now you're imagining that you're cutting your front using your hand. Now imagining that your hand is a long blade, like so. See? Like that. So I do it here in side view. See? I don't make a small motion with my hand. I try to extend my arm as long as I can reach in a natural reaching position. I don't overreach, I don't overextend. I just reach with my arm's length, like so. So again, front view, like so. Now, why is this technique important? The reason why this technique is important is because it teaches you two things. First, it teaches you weight shifting, which leads you to actually naturally evade any kind of incoming attack towards you. So if your opponent is actually trying to shove you, for example, pushing you on your chest, like you're trying to explain yourself and you're trying to quiet down any kind of aggressiveness from your assailant, and he's actually right in front of your face and pushing you on your chest like that, instead of just doing backwards or walking backwards, really receiving all of the brunt of that strength, you're just going to shift your weight as you feel it, and then just push his arms away, then choose to run to the other direction or do whatever you need to do in order to stop that kind of aggression. Once the aggression stops, stop, and then just leave the scene. Another thing that it teaches you is that you can also simultaneously evade and attack at the same time. So going back to the pushing and shoving that the assailant will most likely do with you, especially when he really wants to puff his chest up and really shows his dominance over you, and you really want to quiet down the aggression. Once you feel that aggression being used against you, so for example, pushing you farther away at the back, you feel his aggression, you shift your weight immediately to either leg, which leg you're comfortable with, or which kind of aggression the direction is coming to. Say he wants to push you towards your right, you shift your weight to your left, then you simultaneously push with your hands or chop the side of the neck or the back of the neck or punch, whatever type of technique that comes into your mind just to stop the aggression. So you simultaneously evade and attack almost at the same time. So once you feel the aggression towards you, it automatically helps you shift. So you are actually evading the attack, and then it creates you a small opening. That small opening, no matter how small it is, even if it's just 1 centimeter of an opening, or even if it's just 0.01 of a second, is still an opening enough for you to have that opportunity to actually stop the aggression. You miss an opportunity, you're done, you might never get it again, and it might be all over. So that's the reason why this technique is important. Same thing if you have a weapon in your hand. Doesn't matter if it's a stick, or it doesn't matter if it's a blade right here. So aggression comes in, shift, stab. Aggression comes in, stab. You can do this with either the outside hand or the inside hand. Outside is the one I'm showing you here, the one that's actually nearer to you. The inside is the one that's actually further. See? Or you can actually do two hands almost at the same time. So you feel the aggression, parry, and then strike. Feel the aggression, parry, and strike. It's like the basic 1, 2, 3, 4 of the FMA system. So once you do the 1, 2, 3, 4, shift your weight here. 1, 2, then shift again your weight to your left side. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But for now, if you're not comfortable with using the open hand yet, hold any kind of stick. It doesn't matter if it's a rattan stick or any kind of tubing. You can actually use this with a long weapon, like so. It still applies. See? You're still doing the same mechanics. Or you can do this with a small pipe. Just make sure that when you're doing this motion, you have your other hand tapping the bicep of your striking arm to normally or naturally stop it, so that you're not going to over execute or over dedicate rather. So because if you over dedicate a technique, especially just in practice, you're just going to actually hit yourself. So there you have it. That's the technique that I want to share with you today. This technique that I'm sharing with you can also be used as a concept. So whatever kind of opening that you see right after the technique right here, you can do whatever you want, or you can do whatever you see fit, whatever kind of opening that you see, especially when you do shadow boxing. And that includes doing kicks too. So when you do this, you can do that kick, or when you do this, you do that, you shoulder ram, or when you do this, you can do punch, whatever. So hopefully this technique has been a good additional arsenal when it comes to your practice, and hopefully you will actually integrate this in your martial arts training. So thank you so much. Hopefully this video has helped you even in the smallest way possible. God bless you all. Always train safe and take care.